Shelley Pingree, who represents the district where the shooting happened. She has been an outspoken critic of ICE's use of force and will host tomorrow's hearing. Congresswoman, can you give our audience an update on this case and what you have learned in the aftermath about the circumstances of Mr. Guerrero's killing?
Yeah, thank you so much for discussing this with me. It's been deeply troubling to the community of Biddeford, but also the entire state of Maine. ICE has ramped up activities in our state, have been going on all year, but this was the first direct shooting of somebody shot through the window of their car. You heard that in ICE's statement, they admitted it was a public safety concern, not a concern for the officer. As we've learned more about the officer, he has protection orders against him from 2 ex-wives. He's clearly not qualified and not trained to be in this job. There's an investigation going on, allegedly at the OIG at ICE, but also through our own Attorney General. But they not only shot and killed someone in the presence of their wife and 3-year-old child in a very tight-knit neighborhood, but they picked up the wrong person, and this person was legally in our state, and even the person they were seeking was legal in our state. And this is very indicative of what ICE has been doing, picking up people who are legally in our state, attempting to get them into detention as quickly as possible, moving them out of the state, and literally hoping that they will self-deport. It's a lawless agency. People in our state are protesting on the streets. They are extremely angry about this. And frankly, our immigrant population is afraid to go to work, afraid to go to school. It's just deeply disturbing. And this is little old Maine. We're a low crime state. We don't even have a high rate of immigration in our state, but we are very protective of our immigrant communities. They're our friends, our neighbors, our coworkers, and people are just really angry. They want answers and they want Congress to do something about it.
Congresswoman, I hope the people in your district are doing well after this, because the communities that are dealing with ICE not just being there, but snatching people up and then killing them in instances, I can't imagine what it's like to hold their hands and talk to them. But I also want to zoom out a little bit. And Renee, if we can keep throwing up that video of these gloves. I think you heard when Elise was bringing us into this segment, these gloves that ICE is going to spend $20 million doing. I'm having a hard time fully grasping or like accepting that this has to be the way that we deal with immigrants, that ICE in any way, shape, or form needs the power that we're seeing right there. Because as Elise was reading, the gloves and what they're actually made for is not for some kind of immigration enforcement. It is made for jails. It is made for really intense transport situations to subdue violent suspects. What does it say to you that the cruelty continues, no matter how many people go out and take out the streets, no matter how many immigrants or American citizens they kill, right? That the actual cruelty continues with ICE?
Yeah, as you said, or she said earlier, the cruelty is the point. And I mean, I have a couple thoughts about this. I mean, people are completely freaked out about this idea. I was at a public event yesterday, and of all the things people wanted to talk to me about, 3 or 4 people mentioned these gloves. They'd already heard about it. So people are disturbed at the idea of this use of force. We already know that we have multiple cases of untrained, incompetent officers who don't necessarily know how to do their jobs. So giving them these gloves offers them another opportunity for cruelty. You mentioned the manufacturer said they were only supposed to be used in the most extreme of cases, and I saw that they said they should never be used on children, pregnant women, or elderly and disabled people. Well, how long before ICE is using this to drag a pregnant woman out of her car just because, you know, she's following them in a parking lot, or she's worried about her friends and neighbors and what's happening in that community? So I believe in no time they will be used against protesters and dissidents and all the things that we're worried about. And one more thought I had is that, you know, the ICE officers in this case in Biddeford did not have their body cameras turned on. And many of the ICE officers aren't even equipped with the body cameras yet. It's taken them 6 months, and they had the money from Congress, but it took them no time, you know, to move this $20 million. And I bet you anything, they'll all have these gloves in their cars by next week. It's a lawless agency. They have way too much money. Congress has not been allowed to have any oversight of them. It absolutely goes against what the American people want when they want a reasonable immigration system, and it goes against everything the president alleged he was going to do, pick up the worst of the worst. He's picking up our friends and neighbors, and now they're going to use the cruelest of techniques to do it.
Congresswoman, because you referenced, I believe, is at least what you were referencing was this incident about ICE agents holding a woman at gunpoint in her car in Virginia and Falls Church this week. Let's first watch the video, and then I'll read you the New York Times description of what happened to this woman in Virginia.
Yeah, you recorded us. You almost ran us over.
I didn't almost
You
run
almost ran us over.
You're
Stop
so
playing.
full of
Stop playing.
You are full of
Right? You're not funny.
You're not funny.
I will arrest you. Keep it up.
This woman, 36-year-old Carolina Molina, said in an interview with The Times that around 3 p.m. on Monday, these ICE agents surrounded her car in a shopping center in Falls Church, Virginia, after she yelled at them as they detained people on a sidewalk nearby. She had pulled into a parking spot and backed out and was driving through the center when agents then encircled her, blocking her vehicle by parking cars behind and in front of her. A dashboard video shows the agents repeatedly accused her of trying to run them over with her car and threatened to arrest her.
She's an American citizen. Like, we should put that on the table. The reason that they're stopping some of these people because they're brown.
Just as Alex Preddy was an American citizen and Renee Nicole Good. I mean, what's happened in between that very short period of time when Republicans did pass some of these very limited reforms, such as forcing ICE agents to wear body cameras and expressing some dissatisfaction with these extremely aggressive tactics that were being employed by ICE? What's happened between now and then as the department has shifted from the leadership of Kristi Noem to Markwayne Mullin?
Well, I would say we've seen very few improvements in this department. You know, we got a little bit of communication after the incident in Biddeford. You can call up Markwayne Mullin on a cell phone and he will answer some of your questions. But it is still a lawless agency, and they're still operating in the same way with officers who seem to have a grudge against anybody who is black and brown or anybody who disagrees with what they're doing. And I read the story about that woman. That had to be intensely frightening to have them pointing a gun in your window when we see what happened to Renee Nicole Good. And in my state, when they did the ill-named catch of the day back last January, I think it was, and we're in our state for a week picking up 200 people, just, you know, like combing the streets for people. They stopped the people who were following them or were trying to protect their friends and neighbors. And to one woman, they said, you know, hey, now you're on our terrorist watch list, or some other name that they gave for it. So they try to scare the protesters and any of us who are just saying, wait, we want law enforcement to operate in a lawful manner. We want to protect our friends and neighbors who are legally here. We don't want to see them dragged away and never find them again. I think these are American citizens exercising their, you know, right to free speech. And we are trying to, you know, as citizens, do some oversight of a lawless agency. So it's outrageous what they're doing. And that was a terrifying story that women experienced in Virginia. But I think that is happening everywhere, and certainly happening to black and brown people who are dragged out of their cars and dragged out of their workplace. And now they're coming to our airports and collaborating with TSA and picking up. 2 weeks ago, it was a registered nurse that we had to, you know, go track down and find, a school bus driver this weekend. I mean, they're just going after the people who are holding our communities together and are beloved.
Congresswoman Shelley Pingree, we will be following your hearing tomorrow focused on ICE's use of force in your district closely. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And still ahead, how Trump's main focus remains on his various vanity projects while Americans continue to struggle with